Hey everybody, Aaron Blaise here. Sorry we are late. We always have technical problems. I shouldn't say always, but today we had some technical problems.
Every once in a while.
Well, every once in a while, yes. We have a lot of cameras and a lot of information running through those cameras, and every once in a while something happens. But hey, hi, there we go.
It was a little off center.
But we've been gone for a couple of weeks. So Dustin and I and Nick, we've been making some courses. We've done two new courses over the last couple of weeks. Dustin and I put together a new watercolor course that we're really excited to get out to you. We've done all the shooting, and now we're at the editing stage, which Dustin is neck deep in. And then we also had our friend Tim Hodge, who uh, he and I have known each other for the last 27 years. We worked together at Disney. He's an amazing story artist, great cartoonist, and so we got together with him, and he over the last several days with us put together a course on for younger artists cartooning and turning animals into cartoons and his method for doing that. So we want to start branching out to younger artists, younger in the 8 to 12 years old, and educating them as well. And so that's really excited. This is kind of our first course going in that direction. Why don't we jump to the down shooter real quick? I'll show Dustin. I'll show everyone some of the things that we did.
Yep.
And so these are some of the paintings that these are the paintings that I did for all of the demos for this watercolor course coming up. So every painting that I'm going to show you, we actually did a demo, and you're going to be shown exactly how to do each one of these paintings. Also, I used reference for every one of these, so you will, if you get these courses, you will get the exact same reference. You're going to get the list of supplies, and you'll be able to paint right along with me. So there was this aspen scene that I painted, and then this guy here, uh, this egret, all of these in watercolor, tiger, landscapes as well. This is a very loose scene that I did from Acadia, Maine, when I was up there a few years ago, and I brought back a whole bunch of photographs, and so you'll be able to paint along with that. I teach you how to paint skies with clouds and all kinds of fun stuff. So that's what these are here. More very loose landscape, how to paint loosely and let watercolor do what it does. Here's another one where it's drawing and then watercolor over the drawing. This is a very basic. This is one of the first demos that I did, and that's on how to do washes in the background. One of the first things that I learned as an 8-year-old with my stepfather was that he taught me how to do washes in watercolor. And I'll never forget that night, because he did this beautiful, we lived in Florida, and he did this beautiful sunset like this, and then he painted some palm trees on it, and he goes, look at that, we did a sunset. And that really blew my mind as an 8-year-old kid, and so I did the same demo that he did for me. And this is a demo I'm using Frisket, and then abstract design and landscape. We've got all kinds of stuff. I think we did, 12 or 13 different demos, Dustin?
At least, I think 14 actually.
Yeah, so we did a lot of demonstrations. This was, a demo on painting snow, how snow's not necessarily white, and then painting fur. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we did, and I'm really excited. Plus, I go ahead and do a technique video on all the techniques that I use for each one of these, and then a supply list, and it's about a 15, maybe a 16-hour course, I think.
Give or take.
Yeah, I think it's going to be about 16 hours. So we're really excited about it. And where am I looking? Oh, I'm looking over here.
Here we go.
We're super excited about it. I think this is one of my better courses. Facebook started about 2 minutes late, so those viewers are just joining us. Okay, yep. Sorry guys, if you're just missing. If you missed what I was talking about, some of the paintings that I was just going through are from my latest course, How to Paint in Watercolor. And we're going to hopefully, we're going to get those up and get that course up in the next couple of weeks. But since I've been doing so much traditional stuff with the watercolor and all that stuff, I just thought it would be kind of fun to sit down and do. I'm laughing because I got to show you the pens that I got. Do some traditional brush pen work. Go back to the down shooter, Dustin.
Yep.
So, yes, there it is. I go through a lot of brush pens, and so I said, screw it. I'm going to order a whole bunch, and so I wanted to show you. I've got a bunch of brush pens. This is what I'm using today. So these are all the same kind of brush pen, which is this brush pen right here. And they are Emoji, Bimoji, brush pens. And it's a medium bristle, synthetic bristle brush pen. These are not felt tip. This is an actual brush on the end of these. They just came in the mail the other day. I was able to get 30 of these pens for $60. $2 a pen. That's a pretty good price because each pen will last quite a while if you take care of it. So that's what I'm using today is these the Emoji brush pen. I really love them. And then this is a new sketch pad that I'm using. I just started drawing in it. This is a little sketch that I did of a elephant in Nepal when I was over there. I used some of my photo reference and copied it. But today I've got this photo that I printed out the other day of this owl, a great horned owl to be exact. And I thought, with all the different markings and everything, it might be kind of fun to sit down and do some drawing with you guys. So that's what I'm going to do today. And then we'll open it up to some questions, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I've got my mic kind of off to the side, and I've got my iced coffee.
Gotta have your coffee.
Stay hydrated, my friend.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah. So I've been downing those like crazy. Eh?
Oh, take off your hosier.
All right. And like usual, I've got my trusty Dusty on the other side of me, over on the left.
Hi.
He's got nothing to wave to. One of the problems we had too many cameras hooked up. And for some reason, the number of cameras going through the computer would just not compute. So
hang on.
Dustin has no...
There we are. Hi.
There we go.
And also,
that's the other thing too. Look, he's catching up with his old man. He got the lion's mane cut off. And so anyway, I'm gonna do some drawing, and we're gonna answer questions. And is this a photo you shot? Oh yes, this is a photo I shot. I shot this photo, and that's what that is. And is this not hooked up? Or maybe it's not. Is the power not hooked up? Because now it's saying that it's on battery, the down shooter. Let's make sure that that's plugged in. Follow that down. Follow it down. Because it says it's on battery and the battery's dropping.
Oh. Here's why.
There it is. So my down shooter, the most important camera, is not plugged in. But as Dustin is plugging that in, I'm going to go ahead and start drawing. And I'm just going to use this as a piece of reference. And I'm going to turn my other camera around so I can see it better. Let me do it this way. There we go. And the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to lay in...
Is it in now?
Yes, we are good now. Thank you. So I'm just going to lay in very quickly some of the... and I doubt you'll even be able to see the line work, because I'm not going to do a lot of pencil line. I just want to get enough drawn in here that it's a little bit of a guide for when I'm drawing with the ink, so that I'm not just diving in. A lot of times I do dive in ink and I don't have a problem, but in this case I just want to make sure that it comes out good. Good.
Are you drawing on your usual Strathmore toned paper?
No, this is a new one. This is I just cracked this one open. This is Cottonwood Arts. I got this on the recommendation from my good friend Manny Carrasco, who hopefully is watching today. This is the same pad he uses, and it's recycled paper, and it's pretty heavy. That's why I like it. It's like a almost like a cardboard, and it's just something new I wanted to give a try to. So, thanks to my good friend Manny Carrasco. He's the guy I was out in Montana with recently, and in November we're going to be in Africa. Not November, October. And in a couple weeks, Nick and I, well, not a couple weeks, I guess in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, Nick and I are going to be on our way to a month-long tour of Europe. And hopefully we can see some of you guys there. We're going to be doing a tour. I'm not going to remember all the names of the institutions, but I know we're doing a lecture in Liverpool. We're going to be in Manchester, and then I'm going to be in London with Bobby Chu for a few days, and then after London we head back. Oh, we're going to be in Dublin, Ireland, with some of the studios there in Dublin, Cartoon Saloon, and a few others, and then yeah, I love owls. I love the way the feathers just come right at you like this. Yeah, that's a good one, Dustin. Yeah. And then from there we're going to be heading over to Viborg, Denmark, over to the animation workshop, where one of the schools I just love over there, and I'm going to be doing a workshop over there. And hopefully, if you guys are listening from there, I can't wait to see you. I was there a few years ago. I gave the commencement speech for the graduates and really had a great time. And so hopefully we'll have some fun again. I was there in the middle of winter last time, so at least this time we'll have a little bit of spring weather, hopefully.
And what is the Tokyo trip again? Is that June?
Tokyo, yeah. We're going to be in Tokyo in June.
Yes.
For some more drawing courses. We did this a couple of years ago, once again in June, with the Drawing Academy. And so here I'm really just quickly sketched in our owl. And I'm just going to bring this down, and we're going to just draw this out so you can see. There we go. You can see how lightly sketched in that is. Done very quickly. But then I'm going to go in. I don't know if you can see it on that one there.
Right there,
There we go. Check the. How's that look? Can you see it?
Looks a little better.
I got a Facebook question. Hey, Dustin, what do you think about the new Pokemon games? They take place in the UK, with you starting in Scotland.
Oh, Scotland. That sounds like a great game. No, but seriously, I saw that the Sword and Shield. Definitely looking forward to it. Luckily, I got the Switch, so already got that ready. But yeah.
And then YouTube question: what watercolor paint would you recommend? Well, there's a lot of different types. You know, there's cake watercolors, which are the hard watercolors that like are in a pan, and you add water and they soften up. And I really recommend that if you're doing small, like field paintings and that sort of thing. And Winsor Newton, for me, as far as a brand goes, Winsor Newton's probably the best brand that I recommend. Although, any of the main, Grumbacher, Winsor Newton, any of those they're all fine. And matter of fact, if you look at all my watercolors, I've got a mixture of different brands. But as long as they're name brand and not student grade, student grade is fine, but there's less pigment in student grade, so it's going to be cheaper, but you're getting what you're paying for, which is less pigment. So I recommend Winsor Newton if you can get it, and artist grade.
for the newcomers, what exactly kind of pen is that again?
This is a Bimoji.
Emoji.
Bimoji. Bimoji, Bimoji pen. And it's a brush pen. It's a calligraphy pen, but they're great for drawing. And I first discovered them in Japan.
Yeah, they make really nice detailed lines. Like when?
Oh, it's great.
When what time in Japan? When you found them? Was it during your Brother Bear trip?
No, this is in our last trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've only known about these pens for a couple of years.
I really thought you knew longer.
Not I've known about other brush pens, but not these.
Yeah, I switched over here because your head was getting in the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, whenever my head gets in the way, just let me know.
I'll just yell out, "Get out of the way!"
Yeah. Can you see that okay?
Huh?
Can you see that all
I
right?
can see all right.
Yeah, and go ahead and whenever you can, switch to that other camera because it's a little more detailed.
Yeah, if you just move a little bit, there you go.
Right there.
Yeah, you're. It was showing a lot. You got a beard. What are the dates for Liverpool and Manchester again?
I think those are Liverpool and Manchester are going to be around the 8th of April. I think it's somewhere in there.
Nice. So around the 8th
Yeah.
of April, you said?
Yeah, that's me not being sure. It's around the 8th.
So
I think we get there on the 8th.
So you're not sure voice would be the 8th of April?
Yes.
Like that? Perfect?
Perfect.
Awesome. How long will you be in Viborg for?
Viborg, I think we're going to be there 3 days. Maybe 2 days. Maybe, yes.
Yes. The ultimate answer is yes.
I think we're going to be there 3 days. And it's pronounced Viborg.
Viborg. My apologies. Is your travel places scheduled mentioned on your website? Like
No, they're not mentioned on the website right now. We've kind of kept it under wraps because some of the venues we're going to are private. It's not open to the public. We're not sure what is open to the public yet, but we might do. The reason I'm mentioning it is because what we might do are some, especially in our free days. Like we're gonna have 5 days in Manchester open, and we might do like a meetup at the zoo in Manchester, and do some zoo drawing. And that one we'll just keep it open for everybody, and we'll just see who shows up. Cat here, freaking cat. My cat likes to live here in my studio, and I don't mind. I love the cat, but she leaves cat hair everywhere. My head in the way?
No, just. Oh, okay. That's. I never knew you could do this. 2-finger swipe.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
What is that? That is cool.
So one of the things with owls, which is perfect for this kind of brush pen, is the patterning on their feathers, especially in the forehead. It's kind of complex, but I'm just treating it almost kind of abstract. I'm just going bold with it. If you can go to that's the right camera.
Mm-hmm. And
I had
the
to
shot again. Can we just shift the
if
camera?
you can shift the camera over this way maybe a little bit, that would help me tremendously. And I'm just going to go through this fairly quickly.
Right about
There. It's a little sideways, but that's all right.
There we go.
Spoken like a true genius.
At times. Do you have any plans to start your own animation studio?
No. We do plan on doing our own animation, but nothing to the degree of really starting a studio. that's a whole other venture, and it's not something I really want to stick with the art education thing that we've been doing. That I just really love it, and I love spreading the word, spreading the art gospel, and so I just it's not a piece of the apple I want to bite off right now. Ooh, I'm getting overzealous in my markings. I'm getting too close.
Will you be announcing somewhere when you will be doing a public drawing meet in London after schoolism?
I'm not sure that we'll be able to do. I'm not. Our timing might be off as far as being able to do that in London, but I think we will have time while we're in Manchester.
When are you coming to Boston, Mass? I wish to meet you someday.
We have no plans for Boston, Mass yet, but someday we'll make it up there for sure.
Does the brush pen have the ink in it, like refillable, or are you dipping?
The brush pen the ink is in it. So once you're out, this is pretty much it's useless. That's why they're so cheap. But it's really great ink, and the brush for synthetic brushes are really great. And so I kind of go through them fairly quickly.
Like how quickly would you say? Like in a week, couple of days?
Oh no, it takes probably 3 weeks for me to go through one, and that's a lot of drawing.
Yeah, they can. So they can hold a lot of ink.
Maybe not 3 weeks, but a couple of weeks. Yeah. It's just it's a lot of drawing.
When are you in Dublin again?
We're in Dublin on we're in Dublin after the 18th, 19th. I think the 23rd, 22nd, the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Nick says that we're going to post a calendar of events later this month. So yes, there you go. And YouTube question: would you ever do a workshop in Tampa or Clearwater? I certainly would. That's right down the road from me. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So here I'm just adding some texture.
What would an animated movie about Aaron be like? A lot of bears.
Yeah, a lot of bears.
A lot of lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. What are the chances of you coming to Seattle and maybe doing a class?
Well, I was supposed to be in Seattle a few weeks ago when you had that big snowstorm, but the snowstorm chased us out. We weren't able to make it because of the storm. So we're going to try to work towards it again. We were supposed to be at the at Digipen, the school there.
What about Israel? The Middle East deserves some Blaise too.
Yeah, someday we'll make it. We're trying to spread the word everywhere we go. It's just that one of the problems we have with our travels, just to be quite honest, is that when we're traveling, we're not creating courses. And last couple of years, we found ourselves doing a lot more traveling than we were doing courses. And so I'm trying to make an effort to not travel quite as much over the next year or two, so I can focus on the whole reason I started this business, which is to create courses and create more art lessons for you guys. If I'm traveling, I'm not creating art lessons, and that's the main reason why I started this business and why I want you guys to get the most out of it that I can give you.
Are there any drawing styles you haven't tried yet, but thinking about trying them out one day?
I would love to do like lithography and printmaking and that sort of thing, which is something I haven't really done yet. Twitch question. Did you hear about the Critical Role animated Kickstarter project? They hit their goal in under an hour and are now at 4 million with 44 days to go. Animation by Titmouse. I have not heard about that. I find that extremely interesting. Wow, I find that really interesting.
Imagine all of a sudden you get a call from them. Hey, we want you to direct this film.
No, I don't think that will happen. I would be
Where are you located currently?
flabbergasted. I am located right in front of my desk currently.
Right in front of your desk, in the middle of a town.
No, I'm in DeLand, Florida. DeLand, Florida is a little town about 35. Oh, I'm trying to get this nice ellipse. About 35 miles north of Orlando, Florida, which is basically Central Florida.
What is the current status of Snow Bear?
Current status is we're making it. It's going really well. It's being storyboarded by our good friend Lyndon Ruddy, who did our story course, who did our storyboarding course that we currently have on the website. And hold on one second, I got to get this ellipse just right. There we go. How's that look? Looks good.
Looks good.
Looking good.
Looking good there, buddy.
But Snow Bear is cranking, and I'm hoping to actually start animation in the next month. So yeah, so it's going very well. So what I'm doing with the brush pen here is I'm trying to draw pretty quickly, but I'm also trying to draw somewhat loosely.
Have you had your pancakes today?
I have not. You know what? I'm doing keto. I'm doing a keto diet right now. Trying to lose some of this fatness on me. So getting back out, exercising, but I'm also dropping carbs. And
what's a keto diet?
Keto diet is when you drop carbs basically, and you up your fats and protein, and so you're forcing your body to not burn sugars anymore, but fats.
So fats and proteins like meat?
Yeah, like meat and eggs and cheese and all the fun stuff but you don't get to eat bread or, sugars or anything like that. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh no, I can't eat bread, but I can only eat meat.
It's not as easy as you think. It's funny. I've done it before. I dropped a bunch of weight. I like the diet. And well, I hate to call it a diet because
makes you sound fat.
Well, I am fat.
Did you build your desk, or did it come with you when you left Disney?
Oh no, the desk came with me when I left Disney. The top that I have on the desk right now, I built just to go over the hole.
What do you recommend for animation paper?
Well, I get the animation paper from a company it's very, and it's been a while since I've gotten it, so I can't remember the name of the company off the top of my head. But it's the papers are basically the same weight as what we used to use at Disney, and which is why I like it. But there's a lot of different companies out there. If you just Google them, as far as having decent paper, just make sure that it's not too lightweight. Get heavier, weight paper.
What is the process of visiting your studio in Florida?
What's that?
What is the process of visiting your studio in Florida?
There isn't one. You're not going to find me.
Only close friends and relatives.
They're all my close friends. YouTube question. It was almost 3 weeks ago, but how was Epcot and celebrating the Lion King's 25th? It was great. We really had a great time. One of the things I love about doing those types of things is, we get together my old friends that I used to work with, and it's like a big family reunion, and so that for me was just wonderful. Our good friend, hold on 1 second. There we go. Our good friend Lon Smart, and yes, that's his name, and yes, he is smart. He set the whole thing up and really did such a great job at it, and so it was really nice for all of us to get together and just reminisce.
I saw it on a YouTube movie. You have a scar on your left arm. Where is it from?
My left arm, I have a scar.
Your scar? Your...
Oh, this scar. See that? That's I was out snowboarding right there. That's a good one.
And your arm hit an ice block.
Yeah, I was out snowboarding and about 15 years ago, and I was doing a big jump off of this little kicker, and it was the last run, like it always is. It was the last run of the last day. And
it's always the last one.
I know, and I got a little too far back on my board, and I dropped my hand down and caught a big block of ice and snapped my wrist right in half. And I heard the snap, and I went flying through the air, landed on my back, and my wrist was just like this S shape. It was just, it was gross. And the lifts were closed, everything was closed, so I just had to, and I was still at the top of the mountain, so I just had to stand up and tuck my wrist into my jacket and just ride the rest of the way down the mountain. And
avoid jumps.
Avoid the jumps, yeah. But I made it down and went to the hospital, went into the Denver hospital, and I was supposed to go home the next day, but the next day I was actually in surgery, and they went in and they put a big a titanium plate in here holding all the bone together, and there you go. But it was funny, it was a soft cast that they put on me, and so I was still able to kind of move my arm around. And so even after the day of the surgery, I had a couple of people that met me on the street that found out, oh, you worked on Beauty and the Beast. Oh, can you do me a drawing of the Beast? Of course, it's my left hand, and I'm left-handed. And I said, well, it might be a little bit difficult. And they, none of them said, oh, yeah, okay, sorry. They just go, well, can you try anyway? So I was doing some drawing. I had no locomotion in my wrist at all. So I was just completely drawing from the shoulder.
They're probably more like, this beast looks terrible.
Yeah, right. One of the great stories I have of that, though, is
Bob.
Yeah, Bob Walker, who is my co-director. See, the cast that they put on was a soft cast, and it had a water bladder in it, and so I would actually carry a cooler that had ice water in it and a pump, and it would pump the ice water around my arm and keep the swelling down and keep it all kind of normal. And so when I finally made it back to work, my co-director Bob came up to me, and he's a good friend of mine. He goes, "Hey man, let me see your arm. I heard you broke your arm." And he goes, "What's all the tubes? Because there's tubes that come out. There's tubes there's tubes that were coming out of the cast." And I said, "Oh man, it's a mess." I said, "I broke it really bad, and I've got all these tubes." And I said, "The tubes are actually, huh?"
I changed the camera.
Oh, I said, yeah. And I said, "The tubes are actually coming out of my arm." He didn't realize that I said, "Yeah, I got these tubes kind of coming out of my arm, and they're for drainage, to get rid of all the pus and all that stuff." Because I could actually detach the tubes from the cooler and put the cooler down, and then I could curl the tubes up and put them under my arm.
Yeah, you had them like right here, if I remember.
Yeah, they were coming out of here, out of the cast.
Yeah, and you just tuck it
And
right
so
in.
whenever I would detach them from the cooler, there was still water inside them, and I could just kink them off and put them in my arm. And so so I told Bob, I said, "Yeah, I got these tubes are going into my arm, and they're just all for the drainage and the pus and all that." And I said, "Yeah, come here, look at this." And so he got really close, and I opened my arm up and let the tubes go, and they just went and just sprayed his face. And he goes, "Ugh." he went flying back across the
It got my mouth.
He goes, it got my mouth. It got my mouth.
Then he said it was a prank, and what did he do?
Oh, he punched the heck out of me.
Right in your good arm.
Yeah, it was worth it. It was pretty
funny. You've done some worse pranks though.
Yeah.
Remember
Bob was a
one
great guy. Bob has since passed away. He and I were really close. Bob was the first guy that I ever met when I started at Disney. And unfortunately, we lost him a few years ago, and I really miss him. We talk about him all the time. He was such a great guy and an amazing artist. But look him up sometime, Bob Walker. He was an amazing guy.
Have you heard of the 22-day vegan challenge?
Yes, I have. So what do you think of that?
Nice. Nick's got a new question, I think.
Twitch question. Any tips on creating realistic shading and texture with pigment layers? Black ink. Which aren't
liners.
Huh? Oh, liners. Which aren't able to create different tones or shadows. Yeah, for me it's cross hatching. I do a lot of cross hatching. And this, because there's so much detail and textures, I'm not going to do a lot of cross hatching on this. I might do a little bit, but it's just a lot of, you find where you want to cross hatch.
And Nick is also asking, is there any chance you'll do a course on gouache?
Yes, actually, because we cranked through that course on watercolor.
You're done cranking. It's my turn cranking through it.
Yeah, it's your turn to crank on it now. But we are going to move on to a course on acrylics. I'm going to do that, and a course on gouache.
Nice.
Actually, I might go on to the gouache first, considering that's a watercolor medium. Gouache is, for those of you that don't know, gouache is opaque watercolor. The watercolor course that I just taught is transparent.
Yeah, what was the other course they were thinking of doing as well? The
acrylic.
Acrylic. Yeah, gouache sounds more. What's the word? It fits better after watercolor.
Yeah.
Seems
more logical to go into.
Yep. It's only
there.
logical, Jeb.
YouTube question. There it is.
That's right.
We just did it. Okay, sorry.
And see, Nick changed his picture to you guys at Epcot with the.
Oh yeah, that was. Are you able to? You might be able to pull that down. You can. Yeah, I can't remember. I can't tell you how to do it. So I'm just. Is my head in the way again?
No, I'm doing the overhead.
What about
your head was in the way a few times, so it was like, you know what, overhead.
Yeah, but go to the other one so they can see. Just let me know if I get in the way. Because that's a little bit better detail showing through. So you can see, I just kind of, because I'm left-handed, I just kind of start on the right side and work across.
When will your watercolor course be available for pre-order?
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Fingers crossed, people.
Yeah, next couple of weeks.
And we're doing a live stream this Thursday.
We are doing another live stream Thursday, and possibly next week. I wanted to get back to doing these live streams. We're only going to be able to do a few of them because I'm leaving again.
I thought you were going out of town next week.
I'm leaving on the 12th.
The 12th.
What's today?
I
guess this week will be it because I think I leave on Tuesday. I think the 12th is Tuesday. So I'm taking a little time off, hooking up with some friends of mine that are getting married in Hawaii, and so Vedanta and I are heading off to Kona, Hawaii, and
Yeah, the 12th is next week, Tuesday.
gotcha. So we're gonna be hanging out with some of my buddies and friends in Hawaii for a week, and kicking back, and hopefully you'll see me afterwards. And I re-say hopefully because the folks I'm hanging out with are pretty wild and crazy.
I knew that the 12th was next week because the 13th is next week, and I'm actually looking forward to something that's coming out on the 13th. So
Oh, there you go.
my eye's been fixed on it.
So one of the things too, there's a lot of detail here, and I'm trying. I kind of wanted to get caught up in the detail. That's why I wanted to use the brush pen. But at the same time, I want to make it look like feathers, and so I'm trying hard to keep that feather texture going. If I turn it this way, can you see it better?
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Your glasses are on the right.
Good God.
Good God, man. Angle it up just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, we're gonna have I think you guys are really gonna enjoy the Tim Hodge lessons. We got some great stuff out of them. Tim is just a master at doing these little watercolor cartoon pieces. This is one that he did. I don't know can you see it? Yeah, right here. And it's a lot of this kind of stuff geared towards younger artists, or artists that want to do this type of thing. Really, really wonderful. Lots of character and little stories, all within one shot, and it's going to turn out. It's probably going to be about a 3-hour course, 4-hour course, and a lot of fun. This is another one that I really liked that he did right here, with a different kind of this Dr. Seuss style. Really fun stuff. So look for that in the next few weeks as well.
If this owl had a voice, what would it sound like?
It would sound like, oh doggone it. What's his name that does the wizard there? He's Magneto.
Ian McKellen?
Yes, thank you. YouTube question. I'm preparing my portfolio for college. Any advice? Yeah, just put good work in there. No, I'm being serious. So I don't know what kind of portfolio you're preparing. You're preparing for college, so I'm assuming it's going to be a general portfolio. Really get in there and make sure it's the best work that you have. Even as a young artist, you're just starting out. I'm assuming you're young. You're 17 or 18. You want to make sure you're picking the best work you can. And take your time. Don't rush it. But at the same time, just know you're going to be they don't have to be perfect because you're young, and the whole point is to go to college and learn. If you knew everything already, then there wouldn't be any point in going to college, right? And so I can't tell you how many students I talk to that get so hung up on their work not being strong enough in high school. But the point being is that you got to go and learn.
As somebody says, for a voice for the owls, thinking more of Alan Rickman.
Oh yeah.
But personally, I'm thinking more William Shatner. But like the old-fashioned William Shatner, like, who are you?
Well, there you go. It's the Who. I really want to know.
Mr. Scott. Think it's gonna be a long, long time. I'm the Rocket Man.
I'm the Rocket Man. And I'm going to pull out some of my white pens and work on, throwing them in here as well. For instance, I'll go ahead and put the white highlight on the eye. How's that look?
Will owls be a part of the bird of prey course?
Yes.
Yeah, since I made that comment, so I was like, oh my god, yes. There's something on the wing. Some thing. What brand are the Japanese brushes?
Bimoji.
Bitmoji.
No, Bimoji, not bit. Bimoji.
Bim.
Bimoji.
Bitmoji. Getting those highlights in there now.
Yep, just throwing in a couple of highlights just to show you what it might look like. Does that show up on there?
Yeah, you see that white gel.
So this paper isn't super dark, so the highlights aren't going to be that strong.
Got a new question from Nick, a YouTube question. Nick, do the thing.
Will you do a course with Copic markers or markers? I personally will not, but we do have someone lined up. Yes, we are going to be doing it. We have someone lined up to do a Copic marker course. Very excited about that.
So best digital drawing tablet at around $300. Go.
$300. I don't know. I would say, Intuos. Intuos are great, but that's not a
$300.
Yeah, well, no, it's 300. It's around $300, but it's not a.
It's not a tablet. It's a.
Yeah, it's a tablet, but it's not a pen display.
I think you're talking like iPad kind of tablet.
See that? I don't know. I only.
I think that's what he means. I don't really know. Nick helped out. An iPad-based model now supports Apple Pencil. Boom. There you go. Have fun. Does this brand only have blank ink pens? For the I think it's
that I don't know. They might have other colors. I'm not sure. That's a good question. I've only been interested in their brush pens, their black brush pens. And the white that I'm using right now is called a jelly roll with a G. GELLYROLL, jelly roll. And this is a .08 line. I find that to be the best size line.
Ever considered coming to Disney World to do a course? We'd love to have you.
I did some work. I did work with with WDI a while back. You just got to let us know.
He actually meant. He actually meant for like a Wacom. The person that was asking for a tablet.
Yeah, for me, in that price range, it's got to be an Intuos.
It also wrote, I'm a muggle trying to find something for my wife. Muggles. I mean, like Intuos pad is definitely a good start.
So Nick just said he put a link to the pens in the comments. So I get mine through Amazon. Nick put a link there, so check out the comments. Probably on YouTube, I would assume. I'm not sure if he hit Facebook or not, but there we go. There, can you see the highlights and everything on that working?
Yep.
So you can see what that white pen does on this darker paper. I really like the effect, and so go to the down shooter.
Yep, there it is.
So you get a really nice effect. There we go. You can see the detail a lot better, and I really love that effect. When you get the hang of that brush pen, go to the detail shot. There we go. You'll get a better sense of how to really control. The more you practice with it, you'll get a better sense of controlling that brush tip.
So one day I want to hear Dustin do a "Welcome to the Himalayas" impression from Monsters Inc. My heart would soar. There you go. Snow cone.
Don't eat the yellow ones.
Oh, don't worry. It's lemon.
It's lemon, that's right.
I'm just going to go get more snow cones while you guys get this figured out. Okay, bye. Will you have any time to sketch scenery in Hawaii?
Yes, I always make time to sketch scenery in Hawaii. Every time I'm there, I sketch scenery.
Oh, Austin's is watching.
Oh, yay.
And she wants me to do my best jacket. Dang it.
You got to explain that one.
It's a game that my sister Austin and I play all the time, where when one of us says do your best Jagger to the other, we have to do our best Mick Jagger impersonation.
No matter where you are.
No matter what you're doing, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And we had the idea from, like, my personal group of friends from high school, and we did it to each other all the time, and I ended up passing it on to my sister. We kept it going, but it all started with a single YouTube video. The person that was asking for the impression is like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna cry! I'm baby." You're welcome.
Nick says, "Can you show the sketchbook brand again?" Yes, here's the sketchbook brand. This is Cottonwood. There we go. Cottonwood Arts Recycled Notebook. Cottonwood Arts Recycled Notebook. This is the same.
Whoops.
Oh, there we go. Had on the wrong camera.
Sure.
Cottonwood Arts Recycled Notebook. This is the same. We got Mick Jagger up on the screen. This is the same brand my friend Manny Carrasco uses. Look him up. Manny Carrasco. He's the head of Expedition Art, so an organization that he pulled me into, and I'm really happy he did. Our slogan is, saving the world one drawing at a time. The natural world. We're very passionate about conservation and saving animals, and the trip that we're going to be doing to Africa in October is all geared around conservation. We're going to have some really great artists on that trip, and we're going to have a good time. And so I saw his pad, and I was out at the CTN convention in Burbank, California, and one of the booths was this company, and I saw them selling these notebooks, and so I bought one to see how I liked it, and man, this thing really takes the paper really well. Am I in the way again, Dustin?
No. Well, and your glasses are in the corner. That was
Got it. Done.
Like that.
So I'm just trying to get some of the owl patterning down here, but trying to do it loosely.
Do you prefer illustration or animation?
Yep.
Yep. Done.
But it depends on my mood. I love both. You know, animation is a labor of love. It's got, it takes time. But when it's done, there's nothing better than that feeling and the illusion of life and emotion and everything else that you've created. But when it comes time to just create something really quickly, relatively quickly, then yeah, I jump over to illustration.
Have you ever made tattoo flash art?
No. Sounds kind of cool though.
Sounds sick, brother.
Hey, brother.
Hey, brother. Best bird of prey?
Best bird of prey?
What's your best? What do you think is the best bird of prey?
Oh, I don't know. I love them all. Philippine monkey eating eagle.
Bald eagle.
That's a. What was that? What's the expression you use?
Oh, that right there, Star Spangled Awesome.
That's funny.
Aaron can also do the "don't" with Simpson from Simpsons when his glasses are in the way.
Oh, is that it? Am I in the way?
Not yet. I'll just yell out "glasses."
Yeah.
Then you follow it with "don't." Oh, don't.
Yeah, just trying to get some of that. Twitch question: what sort of artwork would you put together for a portfolio for an animation course? Well, I would put together animation. Anything if you've got, or if you've got any animation you've done. Now, if you haven't done animation yet, and you're looking to put together a portfolio for that, I would say put together character-driven pieces of art. You know, anything that shows characters relating to each other and fun stuff.
Just jumped in. What is the pen brush brand again, please?
Oh my gosh!
God! Come on!
No, it's Bimoji. 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 Awesome brushes. This is not the felt tip. I'm not a huge fan of their felt tip brushes. This is a medium bristle synthetic bristle. And really love it. Robert on YouTube asks, I use Arch's watercolor paper, but I've recently been commissioned to do a large poster-sized illustration. Is there a brand you prefer at that scale? I still stay with Arch's. You can buy them in individual sheets that big, and get extra heavy. If you're going to do it in watercolor, make sure you get extra heavy weight paper.
So he's asking if I'm joining on your trip to Viborg.
Viborg, no.
Viborg.
But he's going. But he's going to Japan with me.
Yep, I sacrificed tagging along on the European tour to go to Japan because I've been wanting to go to Japan for as long as I can remember.
These are go to the down shooter. Oh, you can do it. I can do it here too. These are the watercolor blocks that I use for watercolor, and you'll see that if you get my watercolor course, I do a whole section on this. So this is hot press, so it's smooth paper. This is extra rough, which I tend to use more for my traditional watercolor. And then I've got I can't get to it right now, but there's a green label that's cold press. It's rough, but not quite as rough as the extra rough, and I can use that for. I can draw on it, but also traditional watercolor where I'm, letting the pigment bleed and all that works really well. So there's a lot of patterning that on this owl that I'm working on right now. I love these brushes. You can see I can just sit back, relax, just draw.
That's what I was asking. Please show the reference picture from time to time. It will give an idea how you're planning the dark areas.
There's the reference photo.
Let me do it over. There you go. The photo.
There's the photo, and there's the reference. You can see how I'm squashing him a little bit. I wanted him to feel like his head was tucked in just a little bit more. But that's it. Right there. Right there, brother.
Right there, brother. That Star Spangled
Nick
Awesome
says,
right there,
Osprey!
brother. Osprey.
Why? Why?
Osprey.
Why did you say Osprey?
I don't remember. How do you look on animals when drawing live in nature? Because they're always moving. Where do you start and why?
Well, the first thing you got to do is really understand that animal anatomy before you go out there. If you don't understand the anatomy and they're moving around, of course you're going to have a hard time. It's sort of like when you draw people in the park. People in the park move around a lot too. But because hopefully a lot of people will already been brushed up on their human anatomy, you tend to be a little bit more familiar with it. So it's the same thing that goes with animals. So one of the things I recommend is if you go to a zoo and you know what animals you're going to look at, brush up on the anatomy of those animals before going. And you'll find that you'll have a little bit easier time. And then when they're moving around, I basically have techniques where I kind of look at the animal real quickly, then look away, and I'm left with the final, that last image, like a flash image on my brain. And I sketch that really quickly. And I do that over and over until I have the image kind of laid out in my head.
In today's industry, being so digital, would it still be good to have mostly a traditional media portfolio?
I would say not mostly. It depends on. Well, first of all, it depends on what you are applying for. The question is, in this digital age, is it still okay to have a mostly traditional portfolio? And if you're applying for a studio that really only does digital work, then no, right? Because they need to know that you can work in their software. So it really depends on the job that you're looking for. So that's my answer to that. It just really depends. Oh, Osprey. Oh, from 10 minutes ago. Sorry. Osprey is the best bird of prey. There you go. Nick goes, yeah, from 10 minutes ago. Yeah, ospreys are pretty cool. Otherwise known as the fish hawk.
Do you use reference material before you draw anything?
No, not always. For this one, I wanted to use. I don't have owls quite in my head yet, and so I've drawn quite a few owls, but I don't have all the patterning and everything in my head, and I'm really fascinated by it. And so I like stuff like this. I like to experiment and see what I can get away with, how to do the shorthand. And in this case, I'm trying pretty hard to keep pretty accurate to what I'm looking at.
When doing watercolor, do you prefer using actual paint or the watercolor brush pens?
Actual paint, always. I've never really used watercolor brush pens.
Would you ever attempt to do 3D animation now?
I'm not really interested. I would try it if the opportunity arose. It's a big thing. It's a big commitment. It's not something I can just sit down and do. It's not something I'm driving towards right now. But if I might do something if the opportunity arose. There. So you can see I'm kind of doing some shorthand with the. I'm going to let this fade out.
Is there any way to get Aaron to do his take on a realistic Pokemon before Detective Pikachu comes out in May? I recommend Entei or Pidget. Dustin can pull up pictures of them.
Maybe we could try something like that. What do you think, Dust Butt?
I think it's definitely a possibility.
No. Oh, Nick says I accidentally linked to the felt tip emoji. Can you give me the name of the other one, please? Yes, this one. And I'm not sure if they have a link, but you gotta kind of dig for it, Nick. I'm sorry, but it's the Bemoji medium bristle brush pen. It's not felt tip. It's medium bristle brush pen.
Can you see from here? So this here's Entei,
Oh yeah.
and this here is Pidgeot or Pidgeot.
I guess that leaves a lot of room for interpretation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's not much there on those character designs.
I think it's just a more realistic design of like actual feathers or actual fur.
Right.
Things like that.
Things like that.
How's Snow Bear coming along?
Oh my gosh, really? Sorry to the person that asked that. No, we get that question a lot. It's coming along. We are cranking away. We are making it.
I second this. I think Entei would look amazing if Aaron drew him. But I personally think
You're not paid to think, soldier.
you're paid to do, brother. You're paid to do Star Spangled Awesome. Like that.
There you go.
Do you usually do all the black before adding the white, or both as you go?
I try to do all the black first and then the white, but I do usually end up kind of doing both because I get bored. I want to change it up. Like I'm about to switch it up now.
So he has Dust Butt?
Yeah, I call him Dust Butt. I've called him Dust Butt since he was a kid.
Even, like,
Just one of my little. Yes, it was one of my little nicknames for him. Oh, I'm using the wrong pen. Doggone it. It's like, that's not coming out right.
What are you doing? What are you doing, man?
Using the wrong pen.
I just wrote, Aiden just said, man, Uncle Dusty's so weird. Kid, you had no idea.
Ah, the pen's gumming up on me. Oh, don't tell me I'm losing it. No, don't. Don't do this to me.
Nick's thing is blinking.
Oh,
It's
it's
coming and
just
going.
blinking. May have to refresh, Nick.
Nick, do the thing.
Arg. I lost my pen. Hold on. Oh, that's loud.
So my old horse was named Dustin. I used to call him Dust Butt or Dusty Butt.
There you go. See? Same thing.
Will there be a Lion King special live stream for the 25th anniversary? That would be sweet.
Did we pass it already? Well, it looks like I'm SOL on the white pens, but I've got white gouache. I might be able to use that. But I'm going to continue on the up here.
Is that right? Warm the tip with a lighter.
I was going to do that. I just don't have the lighter in the office with me right now. I do that quite a bit, actually. Good call, person. Who said that?
Good call, random citizen. Kevin Van Clavering.
Gotcha. Good call.
I probably
Yes.
butchered the name. If I did, I apologize.
Lord, I apologize for that.
When you start drawing, do you tend to do the eyes first?
I try not to, because I want the eyes to be pretty strong as far as, getting expression and a place of attention where the viewer's eye is going to go. And I find if I start there, I haven't warmed up yet, and I want to make sure that by the time I get to the eye, I'm all warmed up. I'm all warmed up. And so I try to wait a little while before I go to the eye. Next says, we will be doing a Lion King stream when the new movie comes out. Yes, we are.
Remember.
Remember. I do remember. It was a great experience working on the original. I can't believe it's been 25 years. It makes me feel old.
It's been 25 years.
We had a few of us get together the other night for dinner. Oh, what were you going to say?
Somebody commented about the lighter pen. Like, just intensely stare at the tip and it will melt.
Yeah. A few of us just got together a couple weeks ago. Just few couples, but we all worked on The Lion King and a few other projects, and we were all just reminiscing about the Disney old days. And one of the things that's really weird as we get older is just, and you'll experience this for you younger people out there, so cherish the times you got. That time really does go by fast. Everybody talks about, time goes by fast, but it really does. I mean, it doesn't. I started in the animation industry 31 years ago, and it doesn't seem that long ago.
Nick's got a question for you.
YouTube question. Hi, Aaron. Hi. Which countries are you visiting when you travel to Africa? I think we're going to be in Kenya only. Now, next year we're trying to get to South Africa to an animation festival there, and I do want to, in the near future, I'd like to get to Botswana as well, and Namibia. But we're gonna be out of the Masai Mara in Kenya in October.
Do you have to squeeze those brushes to let more ink out?
Nope. You don't have to squeeze them at all. One of the things I love about these brush pens and you just open up the cap and you start drawing. And especially with these, if you're really careful with them, look how detailed. Look how can you go to the downshift?
Yep.
I'm going to bring this up. You can see how really nicely detailed they can be. I really love these pens. They work really well.
How do you manage to render the volumes well?
Well, when I'm drawing, is that right? Is it okay like that?
Yeah, you're good.
Switch to the other one. Is that still okay?
Safe.
There we go. I'm thinking about making sure that the patterns that I'm laying down follow the volumes. And so it automatically will create a volumetric drawing. So you can see like the feather patterns that I'm laying down up here are in a completely different direction than the feather patterns down here.
We don't have any new questions at the moment. Let's see if I can find.
Am I in the way?
Nope. Oh, here we go. You ever watch the shorts for Annecy?
Yes, Annecy. Yeah.
Yeah. A-N-N-E-C-Y.
It's the French Animation Festival.
Huh.
Which you'll be going to at some point.
That'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. When working in solid black ink, how do you manage non-black values? Are you stuck relying on visual blending?
Yes. So cross-hatching. There's cross-hatching. There's just creating lines that, yeah, from a distance, they just visually blend. That's exactly right.
Oh, yeah, you blend.
Yeah.
How does more ink come out? More pressure on the tip touching the page?
There is, it just stays soaked into the brush. The brush stays wet with ink always.
Always.
I'm not squeezing it, I'm just using more and more of the brush.
Any plans to come to Atlanta, Georgia sometime? If not, do you do any classes in Florida?
We're going to be doing more classes in Florida. Atlanta, Georgia, I mean, it's just up the road. We don't have plans. That doesn't mean we're not going to do it. We just don't have plans currently. We're going to be doing a workshop just outside Manchester in a little town. I think it's going to be in Knutsford. I'm not sure if it's technically Knutsford, but at the Peckforton Castle. We're shooting to do something there in July. And we're going to have it open to 25 students. And all the details haven't been ironed out yet. But I figured I'd just go ahead and let you guys know this is something we're shooting for. So if it's something that you might be interested in, the students will be staying at the castle. It'll be 4 days at the castle, and we're going to go out and do animal drawing, landscape painting, 4 days.
And that's part of the Europe tour?
And no, that's going to be in July.
That's in July.
Yep. The price point for all the students will probably be in the range. We haven't figured out totally yet, but it'll probably be in the $1,100 to $1,500 American dollar range, but it covers all of food, lodging while you're there, and all of the lessons. And we're gonna have a great time.
You mentioned a course on perspective drawing. Will it also include drawing reflections properly and the shadows cast by artificial lights?
Yep.
If so, what is the anticipated availability date?
I have no idea. That one I really haven't thought about as far as when I'm going to do it, but we will be doing it. And yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Artificial lights, because they're closer, are going to cast a different type of shadow than, let's say, the sun, which with the rays of the sun are going to come down much more parallel than the rays of an artificial light. They're going to spread out a little bit more, so you get a different type of feel altogether. You know what? I'm gonna try something. I just realized I've got these brown. They're not quite. Oh, you know what? I got something even better.
Go try something.
Oh.
Something new. Something new. Yay! It's so exciting.
Yes, I need you, Dustin.
Me?
Yeah. Need to get me some water.
Great. More water.
Yep, we're going back to watercolors.
Yeah.
So I want to see. I can't remember if these are waterproof or not, so we're going to find out. Can't remember if these pens are waterproof, so we're going to find out. I've got all of my brushes in here, and I'm going to throw down a little bit of watercolor I'm gonna throw down some watercolor while Dustin's getting me some water. Let me find the right brushes here. Where are they? Oh, there we go. There we go. These are the brushes I'm going to use. And because I think we can throw down a little bit of color. I've already got all of my kind of the browns that I'm looking for mixed already. Right there. Mick Jagger's still dancing.
It's the Jagger.
So let's see if they're waterproof.
So time for science.
Hell yeah, they're waterproof. Look at that.
Look, they can't see it.
Huh?
They can't see the palette.
So. No. I'm talking about the the ink is waterproof. I forgot that it's waterproof. So we're going to throw down a little bit of color in here.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
See?
So if the suspense is too much.
Cat hair. Wah, wah. So this is one of the other courses that one of the demos that I do in the course is just being able to do ink and throw watercolor over the top. You know, you can be really loose with your watercolor and end up with some really nice effects like I'm doing here. And it's going to add some nice color to what we have here. And what we have here is a failure to communicate.
Are you freestyling with no reference? I don't see much of an underdrawing.
I did an underdrawing initially. There we go.
Then you just inked on top of that.
I inked on top of it. And I'm going to try throwing color. I want to get that eye color in there now that I know I can do this. I'm going to try painting over. I don't know if it's going to work. We might end up with a disaster. But I'm going to try putting color over the white pen that I laid down. Nick says go to overhead.
Oh yeah. Dustin sounds like he could be in a ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Oh yeah, wasn't that great?
What's Buster Scruggs again?
It's the new Coen Brothers movie on Netflix. It's awesome. If you haven't seen it, Dustin, you got to watch it. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that came out good. I like it.
You like it?
Yes. Yes. YouTube question. Also, do you have any suggestions on how to start learning to morphize animals, putting them in clothing specifically? Funny you say that. We've got a little bit of that in the Tim Hodge course that we just put together. And, but it's really just, I mean, for me, the approach on that is just look at people and just kind of apply that to the animals. We all have when you're drawing animals, even naturalistic animals, we all have the same parts. You know, we all have the same, you know, bones and muscles and everything. They're just proportioned differently. And so it's not a big leap to take those, you know, a dog and stretch the leg in a way that feels more human and have them stand up, or the same with a cat or whatever it might be. I'm going to get some of this in here.
Have you ever used a marker called Copic?
Yes, I've used Copic markers often. Going back real quick, yeah. Dustin. So it's not just educate yourself on comparative anatomy between animals and humans, and you'll be able to do it. Now, as far as Copic markers go, I'm not really experienced with them. Most of my Copic marker experience is just using them as grays for, you know, tonal approach for some of my illustrations that I do in my sketchbooks. But here we go. But I have used them, and we're going to be doing it. We're going to be creating a course on Copic markers in the near future.
You already answered Nick's question up there, right? Is that what you just did?
Oh, no. Hi, Aaron. I'm currently working on my portfolio towards Disney style and design. Would you mind giving some tips to enter as a junior development artist? Should I do 3/4 views of buildings? Yes. If I'm not sure what you mean by Disney style and design. That might be something new that I'm not aware of. Because it's my recommendation has always been do not do, you know, if you're putting in for a portfolio at Disney, you know, they don't necessarily want to see Disney characters. They want to see great animation or design. Now it can be in similar styles, but they don't want to see stuff that's already been done. And I don't know if that's what you're doing or not, but just be careful about that. So here I'm just throwing in some color.
I know that you use TV Paint for animation, but how does it work with the payment? Is it one-time payment, or do you need to pay monthly like Adobe products?
No, it's a one-time payment. That's one of the beautiful things I love about TV Paint. Now, it's not cheap, but it's a one-time payment and you own it and it's wonderful.
It's like what, 200, 300?
No, it's more than that. It's
1,000?
It's in the
2,000?
3,000. It's in the $800 range,
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
So $800, and that's for like the premium.
I think, yeah. Well, I'm not. Yeah, and you don't need to get. I would say get the standard version. You don't need to get anything other than that.
And the standard version is free, right? Or
Yeah.
is it...
No, it's not free. It's less money. All right. So hold on. I gotta use my hair dryer.
God, turn it off! Turn it off! Turn it off!
You gotta have a hair dryer when you're doing watercolor.
Does the course include figure drawing with Copic markers at all?
What?
Does the course include figure drawing with Copic markers at all?
No. It might. No. It's no. I'm not sure what it's going to have in it yet, because we haven't been able to plan it out. Whoops! I smeared that. That wasn't. That wasn't dry. I got to go back and. Actually, I actually fixed it. I smeared across the eyeball, but it gave it an effect that I kind of like.
Great.
And I got to do one more thing here.
You do another.
Get a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I want to get that beak painted in. You itching your butt? Dustin's itching his butt.
No, I was itching my back. The lower parts of my back.
So I'm just painting in the beak to get a little bit of the gray painted in.
Hey, do you have a course on this type of drawing you're making? I'm really interested in it.
I do cover it in my upcoming watercolor course. There's all kinds of techniques of watercolor. And so one of the techniques I cover is drawing and then putting a watercolor wash over the top like I just did. Now, the version that I do in the course, I did Prismacolor pencil and not India ink. But you could do India ink like this and still end up with the same results. So I'm going to hit this with a hairdryer again.
Did you read what Nick wrote?
Yeah, so for those that are interested, we have a complete line of courses at creatureartteacher.com. That's my website, creatureartteacher.com. And you can buy individual courses a la carte. So you can go in there and you can buy one course at a time if you want, or you can get everything to keep for an annual membership. So if you get an annual membership, you'll get everything that's on the course, including everything that we create during that year that you're a member. And so it's the best deal on there because you're getting so much material for it's really a great price. I mean, and there's the other thing too. If you're on a budget, you can become a monthly streaming member, and I believe that's $20 a month. But one of our big mantras when we started this website is, I really got tired of how expensive colleges are, and so we really wanted to make an art education center hub on the internet that's really affordable. And we wanted to make it affordable for people all over the world. And so that's been our goal. And it's really worked out for us. We really we're very happy about how the response has been with people all over the world. People really love what we've been doing, which makes me happy. We've been able to sell in over 150 countries. We've got students in over 150 countries, and we've been able to travel, which is something I really love, and kind of spread the word and have some fun. So that's what we're doing, and then doing these live streams, which I always love doing these live streams. I just keep looking up at Mick Jagger's just always dancing.
Just doing his thing.
He's doing the thing.
He's done the thing. Does the watercolor go over the white gel pen okay?
No, the white gel pen tends to be water soluble, so I try to stay away from it as much as I can, although it went over it on the eyeball pretty well.
Water soluble?
Yeah, it's water soluble, meaning it'll dissolve with water going over it. That freaking train is driving me nuts.
God, that train. What is that train angry about? I have bought the animal drawing bundle, and it is hands down some of the best teaching ever. Saving up for that annual membership, it is.
Oh, that makes me happy. I'm really happy you enjoy it. Amberwing Art on YouTube says, "I'm so happy you started offering the monthly subscription plan." Ah, good. Which is actually the streaming plan. Yeah, we felt like it was Nick. Nick said, we really need this option for people that can't do some of the other things, afford some of the other options, and totally agree. Once again, we want to make sure that, everybody should have a chance to get affordable art education, especially folks that, might not have access to it any other way. And so it's really been successful, and we're really happy about it.
Because of the train horn. I was about to ask what the honking was. Thought Dustin was doing impressions again. That was me.
Have I tried alcohol markers? I have not. I've tried plenty of alcohol, but not markers.
You're drunk. Can you imagine walking out of the paint store? This paint's good. It'll work. I like that ink brush. Do you know who makes it? Sorry if you already mentioned it.
Okay, this is not on you, the person that just asked us, but yes, I have been asked. That's the whole point of this. This will be number 20. No, this is called a Bimoji brush pen. Bimoji. And I highly recommend getting the brush version, not the felt tip. That's my personal like. And this is the medium bristle brush pen. Not the felt tip pen.
Was it again for the people that just hopped in like 3 seconds ago?
Bimoji.
Bimoji.
Bimoji, not Bitmoji. Bimoji. Bimoji.
Bimoji. I feel like every 5 seconds we just say Bimoji.
Bimoji.
Kind of like what was that phrase that one character says in like Bazinga?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
The one guy Bazinga. But here we're just
Never been into
Bimoji.
that show.
Huh?
I've never been into that show.
I like watching the best ofs.
Yeah.
Never really watched like an actual full episode, but watching the YouTube clips and everything are fun to watch.
Well, I'm pretty much going to finish up here. And you know me, Dustin, that's going to take me about the next 15 minutes.
Sony Animation presents Bimoji, the new hit animated movie by Aaron Blaise.
But here it is. So, you know, my big goal on this one was to take this complex design, all the different markings that an owl has, and kind of break it down, and then just attack it and go at it with the brush pen. And I really had a good time doing it. I like the image, how it came out, and I wasn't really expecting to do any watercolor over the top, but I'm glad I did. It really, I think I like the result. Lines of Rajah on YouTube says, love my annual membership. I'm going to be 3 years now in April. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I love hearing that. It's worth every penny. It has helped me so much. I would not trade it for anything. Well, thank you for the endorsement. There we go. So, basically just finishing up. Really happy with this. Really happy with these brush pens. I'm so glad I got them. I've got 30 of them. They're going to last me a while. But you can see, I mean, how long have we been at this, Dustin? We started late.
About 2 hours now.
Yeah, so here's a 2-hour sketch. So it's not a sketch, it's a drawing. But, and you know, I was yakking and talking during it, but you can see the results you can get. It's a lot of fun, really cool. I'm going to see if I can get that pen to work. The 08. Is this my 08?
There.
Still not working.
Fixed our problem. I just put a text in saying the pen is Bimoji.
There you go. I've got some white gouache right here, and rather than use that Bimoji pen, I'm going to squeeze out a little white gouache and hit a couple of areas with my little brush. I've got a little guy. Where is it? Don't want that one. Dun, dun, dun. There it is. This one. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny little round. But I want to get some nice little details.
That's not Bimoji.
And I want to get a little bit of white gouache.
Like the gouache. Bippity boppity boopy.
There. So I want to hit some of these areas. Oh, there. Look at that. Look at that, Dustin.
What? What'd I do?
Look at that. Oh.
Oh.
Goes in there. Peter.
Oh.
Oh,
Hey, Peter.
Peter.
Hey, Peter, that's just fantastic.
Peter.
Hey, Peter.
Pumpkin eater.
Jader, You're a pumpkin eater.
Oh man, that looks good. That gouache went on a little bit better than I expected.
And what you expected?
Idiots. We are idiots. Peter.
Hey, Peter. Any plans of visiting South Africa?
Yes. We are going to hit South Africa. Can I show the tip of the Emoji, please? Wow, that sounds dirty for some reason. But I'm going to get in there and I'm going to show you.
Need to show the tip of the Emoji.
Let me hit this real quick. Where is it? Where's my Emoji? There it is. Comes to a very, let me see if I can get it to focus. Focus, focus,
Focus.
focus. There it goes. There's the tip right there.
Just the tip.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. So it's a very fine tip brush pen.
Just the tip.
Dustin, shut up. No.
Does the Winsor & Newton brand have the official Blaise seal of approval?
Oh, absolutely. Winsor Newton's fantastic. It's my favorite, definitely my favorite brand. So I'm just going in with white gouache. And gouache, for those of you that don't know, gouache is a opaque watercolor. So it's water soluble, but it goes down opaque. So I can create some nice soft effects right here.
I don't know if you just answered this, but is the gouache pure or with water added?
It's with water added. It's out of the tube, but I don't want it to go on too thick.
When you were having your hand in front of the tip of your of the Emoji, she said, "That is a great." Oh no, that wasn't it. Said that hand is so well drawn.
Yeah, it's well weathered.
Very, very weathered.
You can see all the years of sun and boating and pulling crab traps and everything else with those hands.
Yeah, because you've been on the more recently. You've been on the boat quite often the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I got my boat fixed, so we've been out quite a bit.
Call it a brush OG or a gouache OG.
So this is a combination of white gouache and Emoji brush pen. A little bit of watercolor in there to throw in some color. And yeah, it's coming out. I'm pretty happy with it.
So you just dip the tip of the brush in a container of water?
I dip it in a container of water and then let's do this. Here's my palette. I've got white gouache squirted out right here, and I dip my brush into the water and then I thin it out right here, and then I have enough to go and paint the light areas, which is what I'm doing here.
That Mick Jagger dancing is really distracting sometimes.
I know, right?
Nick, get rid of the thing. Hey, that was my idea. The drinking game. Each time Aaron says, "There we go," you take a shot. I recommended that like a year ago. There we go. There we go.
That's funny.
That was like a very underlined, like, hey, you guys are jerks. But you're so talented. This is beautiful.
Thanks, Dustin.
Well, I already knew that, but somebody was writing that to you. It was written by Allison McCroby.
Thank you, Allison. There. So, getting a little bit of color in here and value and there. So that is what you can do in a toned sketchbook with a Emoji, that is Emoji brush pen and some
Emoji.
and some watercolor.
Does too much watercolor, or no, does too much water, my mistake, make the white gouache appear anemic?
Yes, it'll make it appear weak. So you can use that to your advantage though, so because some places might not, you don't want it to be opaque, right? So you can use that to your advantage. In other places, you want it to be opaque.
What's going to be your light source?
He's in shade. He's in the shade. He's completely in shadow. So there's no. I'm not casting any shadows right here.
Just going to keep it quote unquote flat.
Yeah, keeping it flat. I'm going to go in with a little richer, darker brown. Now.
That paper holds the ink well.
It really holds. It's thick. It's almost like a. The paper is almost like a Bristle board, which is kind of a heavy drawing board, and so it really takes it well.
Is it a watercolor sketchbook, and then the ink won't seep through?
It's not watercolor. I wouldn't call it watercolor. I just call it a kind of a multimedia. I want to go even darker. Come on. I call it multimedia.
Multimedia?
Yeah, because it's you can do all kinds of stuff on here, drawing, painting, whatever, and it takes it all really well.
So it pretty much fits for any.
Yeah, it's just really heavy. It's really heavy weight paper. So I'm just trying to paint some of the dark areas in here. Oh, did you see that?
What'd you do?
Hold on, I need a napkin. I dropped my brush.
Oh no.
I can fix that.
I can fix it.
Drop my brush, man.
What makeup paints do you think are great for this? And is that a horsehair brush?
No, I'm using sable. These aren't sable. These are synthetic. But I do have a couple sable brushes that I use. Sable brushes aren't cheap. Those are my most expensive brushes. I've got 3 sable brushes here. I'll show you. It's real quick.
We dropped the brush. People were like, "No, party foul!"
I know. Did you see that?
Yeah.
But we're all better now.
Someone else
You can always fix it.
Someone even put in the scared emoji.
Yep, it happens.
Will you leave the final work in the sketchbook, or will it be removed and framed?
Oh, no, I'll leave it in here. Maybe someday I'll pull it and frame it, but right now it's going to stay in here.
The brush strikes back.
Yes. There, so now you can see adding these little bits of darker paint, I can give it a little bit more dimension.
What is the weight of the paper? I'm interested to see how much the ink penetrated the back of the paper.
Didn't penetrate it at all. See there? Didn't penetrate it at all. It's not like marker ink. This is just like it's just India ink. It's just painted right on the surface, so it doesn't go through. There we go. I'm just going to hit these last little bits.
Nick has left a couple of
Questions.
questions, and also he changed the GIF. Nice. Yeah,
Mark Davies Art on YouTube asks, "Hey Aaron, what kind of boat do you have?" I have a 25-foot Regal Fast Track. Always wanted a boat. I have a 25-foot 2011 Regal Fast Track. YouTube question: can you reproduce this watercolor effect in digital? I do have some wet media brushes that I think do a pretty good job. If so, can you show us the next time? Yes, I will try to do that. And then a Twitch comment: now it's crying. Hashtag ruined. Nope, I fixed it. I fixed it. But I do want to get a little bit of color. Right up in here. Actually, I'm not even sure that you're going to see that because it's almost the color of the paper.
Do you seal the art so it won't transfer to the opposed page in the sketchbook?
Yeah. Once this is dry, it won't do that.
And Mark, that was a good pun. You're a hoot. Woo, woo.
So I'm just going to hit a couple of these little areas in here very loosely. Like 38 special. You don't get that, do you? You shouldn't.
38 special?
Yeah, I'm going to hit it like very loosely. Like 38 special. Just hold on loosely. 38 special.
Yeah.
Don't let it go.
I'll probably remember if I heard the actual number.
70s, baby. It's the 70s.
I know my 70s stuff. Just not as much as you.
All right, so
there's
there's our painting.
That's it. That's the painting.
That's our painting. YouTube question: what do you think of this sketchbook versus your usual one? I really like. I think I'm liking it a little better because the paper is so much heavier, and it really takes the media that I'm using really well. So I'm digging it, big time. Big time. Big time.
Big time.
Big time.
Big time.
So I'm going to dry this with my trusty dusty hairbrush or hair dryer. Have I always wanted to be an artist growing up? I have never wanted to be anything else. At one point, I wanted to be a vet, maybe. Another point, I wanted to be a forestry guy, maybe. But I've always come back to artist.
Do you think you'll be doing this again on Thursday? Watching you work traditionally has been fascinating.
We're definitely going to do another live stream on Thursday. I'm not sure if we're going to do traditional or if we're going to do something else. But we will definitely... I'm just going back over some of the areas that I hit with lighter watercolor. It did lighten up some of the black pen that I put down. So I'm just going back over it really quick.
Fixing those areas without the brush landed on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am.
So you're repairing all the damage there. Shame that happened,
Brother.
brother.
Hey, brother.
That is Star Spangled Awesome there, brother. What would you look for to get that type of sketchbook in Europe or Ireland? What type is it? The brand might be hard to get here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Try out Amazon. I don't know if Amazon's different in Europe. I guess it is different in Europe. Different all over the world, isn't it? Depends on what you can get. But look on Amazon. That would be your best bet. But it's Downshooter. Are we on the Downshooter?
Yep.
It's Cottonwood AR plus S recycled notebook. I know they're a small company. This is Sketchbook C1. Sketchbook C1. It's only 35 pages. 9.5 inches by 9.5 inches.
And did you really spell it out as AR plus S?
Yeah, that's what it. Isn't that what it said?
That was arts.
Oh. I guess I didn't follow the Cottonwood.
But how you been pronouncing it the whole time?
AR plus S.
Cottonwood AR plus S. So it's
I thought it was a model.
This is the A plus S model. It's also called the ATS.
ATS.
Arts.
I can't. The one thing about these brush pens, I haven't gotten good at signing my name with it yet. So I'm going to go back to a traditional pencil, and I'll sign it.
I've got a bone to peck with you, owl pun makers. Those jokes just don't fly here.
Nice. Twitch comment. You just fixed the owl's eye. Congrats. You are basically a vet now. That's true. Richard on YouTube asks, when are you going to draw Hulk Hogan? Ooh, there you go.
Oh, yeah, brother.
I love it. So there is my reference. Ba-pa. There's the actual piece. I'll bring it up a little closer so you can see the details. But that's what you can do with a brush pen. It's a lot of fun. Just take your time. Have some fun with it. Be aware of the contours. You know, what are the planes? What's happening with the planes? And let those markings, these markings around here, kind of follow the plane of the bird or animal or whatever it is that you might be trying to draw. If you're doing a lizard or a snake or some kind of reptile, the scales would be following the form, right? And so whatever animal you might be doing, there's always something on that animal, whether it's fur, feathers, scales, whatever. They're always going to be following the form, and that's going to help you define the form when you're drawing. So there's that. That was fun. That was a good.
That was a lot.
That was a nice comeback after being away for a while. So
yeah, I brought it back to this camera.
So we are going to be back on Thursday, and I think we're only going to be doing 2 this week. So one today, one Thursday, and then I'm gone again.
Then you're out of here.
I am off to Hawaii for a little bit of fun and relaxation. Although I'll be bringing my sketchbooks, and I'll be in between hangovers. I will be drawing, and I'll bring back my sketchbooks and show you what we've done, and then it'll be the following week after that we're going to be getting together at the end of the month. We're getting together with Proco, and we're going to be doing some stuff right here in my studio with Proco, and so we're going to have a good time doing that.
I didn't realize
and then
soon.
yeah, and then right after that is when Nick and I and the rest of the gang, except for Dustin, head off to Europe. But Dustin's going to be heading off to Japan with us in June.
Worth it.
So YouTube comment, don't. I searched AR plus S on Google. Well, come on. I mean, everything else looks normal except for the T. I mean, it looks like, except for I should have gotten it from because of the cottonwood.
It's blurred. There
it goes.
Focus.
But I just didn't even look at the cottonwood. I just went to RAR plus S. I'm an idiot.
I was the only one that noticed. Like, I think you're are you pronouncing it AR plus S? Like, yeah, it's actually a T. It's arts.
But I've got a lot of sketchbooks that are like this. I've really been convinced to switch over to
show the book.
non-white drawing paper so that you have the ability to go lighter. This is a sketchbook that I went into a little shop back in these little back alleyways in Beijing in China, and I found this really neat sketchbook. This is literally like super stiff cardboard. It really takes, like, this is ballpoint pen and the jelly roll. It takes it all really well. Do all kinds of fun stuff on it. So this is some very quick sketching I did yesterday of my pooch. But it, farm animals. So I really like this too. But I really recommend, if you want to try pushing your drawings value-wise, both brighter, lighter, and darker, then get something that's off-white. Get something that's more of a medium tone, and you can really have a good time with that. It gets things to pop, and I really enjoy it. So, like I said, we are going to be back again on... Let me get that done up. We're going to be back again on Thursday, and maybe we will do some more traditional. I had a good time doing this. Actually, why don't we just do that? That way we don't have to break down the cameras.
Yeah.
That's a pain in the butt. So anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us this afternoon. We had a great time. I hope you learned something through this process. I really love drawing this way. It's where I got, those are my roots, doing stuff like this with ink and watercolor and sketchbooks. That's what I've done in my whole life, and I really enjoy doing it. So, like I said, I hope you learned something. Take these techniques and go out and put some beauty back in the world. Do something really nice. Do some beautiful artwork, and do something nice for somebody, and put your cart away, your grocery cart. Always do that. But hold the door open for somebody, or help somebody across the road, or whatever. We need a lot more of it in the world today. And I hope you learned something. Put some beauty back in the world. And I will see you on Thursday. Have a great week. Dustin?
Cowboy Bebop, brother!